Welcome to Let God Be True. Today we dive into one of the Bible's most mysterious and honestly controversial passages, Genesis chapter 6 verses 1 through 4. So, who were the sons of God, and what are the Nephilim? And what lessons does this strange story hold for us today? Let's explore. Genesis chapter 6 verses 1 through 4 reads, "When men began to multiply on the face of the land and daughters were born to them, the sons of God saw that the daughters of men were beautiful, and they took for themselves wives of all that they chose. Yahweh said, 'My spirit will not strive with man forever because he also is flesh, so his days will be 120 years. The Nephilim were in the earth in those days, and also after that, when the sons of God came in to the daughters of men, they bore children to them. Those were the mighty men who were of old, men of renown.'" Before the great flood, humanity multiplied, but something unusual happened. Sons of God took daughters of men, and the Nephilim appeared. This brief account has sparked debate for centuries. This view says the sons of God were fallen angels who left their heavenly domain as mentioned in Jude chapter 6, and took human wives. Their union produced the Nephilim, giant, powerful beings as we see in Numbers chapter 13 verse 33. Early Jewish writings like 1st Enoch support this, and it's hinted at in 2 Peter chapter 2 verses 4 through 5 and Jude 6 through 7. Lesson: there is a spiritual battle influencing the physical world. We must remain vigilant. So, here the phrase sons of God is understood to refer to the righteous line of Seth, while daughters of men points to the wicked line of Cain. Their intermarriage, is seen as a kind of moral compromise that ended up corrupting humanity. This interpretation really fits with the biblical theme of God's people being called to separation and holiness. The lesson here is pretty clear. Mixing righteousness with rebellion leads to spiritual decay, as we see in 2 Corinthians chapter 6 verse 14. Now another view says that sons of God were actually ancient rulers or warriors who, claimed some sort of divine status. These leaders practiced polygamy and violence, seizing women and spreading wickedness throughout society. This way of looking at it actually lines up with what we know about ancient Near Eastern cultures. The lesson here is that corrupt leadership often leads a nation to ruin, and honestly, power must always be tempered by a godly fear. The Nephilim are described as giants, or mighty men. The Hebrew root, interestingly enough, suggests fallen ones. They may have been literal giants or maybe just infamous warriors. Later on they're mentioned again in Numbers chapter 13 verse 33 when the spies saw giants in Canaan. So, God declares that his spirit will not strive with man forever. Humanity's days are, honestly, numbered. Judgment is coming. The flood wasn't just about human violence. It was, a cosmic cleanup of spiritual and moral corruption. First, God sees the depth of sin. Nothing escapes his gaze. Sin, especially when spiritual and physical boundaries are crossed, brings judgment. Second, guard your lineage and influence. Be careful who influences your faith and family. Righteousness and compromise, they just don't mix. Third, be aware of spiritual realities. Just as the Bible teaches spiritual forces were at work back then, we are in a spiritual war today, like it says in Ephesians chapter 6 verse 12. And finally, God is patient, but not forever. My spirit will not strive with man forever. There is grace, but there is also a day of reckoning. The mystery of Genesis chapter 6 really reminds us that what we allow in our hearts and homes affects the world. Whether it's angels, kings, or corrupted families, the lesson is clear: stay faithful, stay separate, and, stay watchful. If this teaching helped you understand a tough passage, go ahead and subscribe to Let God Be True and join us next time as we unpack another difficult Bible story, Abraham and the sacrifice of Isaac.